All right. Oh yeah. So have definitely found some other things I could talk about, and took my energy drink, whatever that doctor kind of like added recommended. So I'm a little like wired in the sense of. So I'm like, let me go ahead and do some more videos. And the video that we just pretty much made, about the Filipina, I completely forgot about the other video that was in my folder from Strong Successful Male about how Sweden is trying to stop Swedish men from marrying Thai women. Did I not say that? It ain't just Filipino, it's also Thai, it's also... Did I not fucking say that? Damn! Oh my god, I love being fucking good, I love being right. Westernized men are tired of westernized women. Because, westernized women tend to be like the girl from the previous video right before this. Basically a bunch of bitches. And guys aren't looking for that. They're not looking for masculine women. They're looking for women. Women. Just like the Filipina said, and this... as I said, we're tired of it. We're sick of it. But as I said, guys, hey, there are Latina women. You don't have to go all the way overseas and shit. But as I said... Y'all want to see, as I said, I'm going to keep this video in my folder so that when people come after me, as far as with on MTR's thing about this, I'm going to turn around and go, oh, well, hey, it ain't just happening here in the United States. It's happening everywhere of men going for Asian women. They're tired of westernized women. They're sick of it. We don't. I mean, seriously, we don't mind women who want to be by our side. What we don't want is women who are above us. That's not what we want, and that's funny because that's what y'all keep claiming you don't want. Oh, we just want to be equal. Bullshit.
Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled Swedish Governor Wants Limit on Thai Women Marrying Swedish Men.
How would you even do that? Just the same way as with Denmark, trying to incentivize men being in relationships and having kids and things. How in the hell would you pull that off? How would you even, what are you going to pass a law? How would you be able to do that? We want to put a limit. What do you mean put a limit? So you're forcing your men to choose what you want? No, that ain't happening.
And guys, this whole article is about how apparently Sweden is the #1 country with the highest percentage of Thai wives, where apparently it has a pretty large Thai population, lots of immigrants, because apparently Sweden is one of the top liberal, progressive European countries, so they have a lot of immigrants coming from Thailand apparently. And guess what? The Swedish men are marrying them up because, as many of you guys are aware, generally speaking, Asian women are known to be a lot more feminine. And
did we not just say that in the previous video? But again, I don't want to. I don't really care about. I don't even give a shit. I was about to say I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't give a fuck. I'm going off of what we all know, being from Norfolk, about, yeah, these women in their own countries are that way, but the moment they get into a westernized country, they change. They change.
Not have been impacted by the feminist movement like women in the West, okay? So, as you can probably imagine, these Swedish guys, given the choice between these beautiful, feminine, foreign women that are obviously more traditional versus these women that...
They are only more traditional in their countries. They are not as traditional when they get into Western countries.
that are obviously been impacted by the feminist movement, walking around like they're a bunch of female Vikings, what do you think they're going to choose? Right? Who do you think they're going to choose? And obviously the women aren't happy about this, especially the feminist women. So now they're now pressuring the government to try to put a stop.
See what's happening? It's what's happening over in Denmark, Sweden, and everything else. It's going to start happening here. It's going to start happening here. Guarantee you, they're already bitching about it now. These feminists are going to turn around and what? Petition the government? They're going to what? Petition the government? I mean, what the fuck is the government going to do? How the hell is the government how is the government involved in my fucking bedroom in my personal life? They're going to petition the government to force men. I mean, I've done other videos about this over the years. Of, what is it? If you don't want to date a fat woman, you're considered fat phobic. If you don't want to date a black woman, you're considered racist. All of these videos have been coming out. I've been even talking about these on my channel. And it's like, what? You do realize you're the reason why black men aren't being with black women. You're the reason why, I'm sorry, that certain guys don't want to be with a curvy or fat woman. Why are you not taking the blame for yourselves? It's funny how you want to always toss blame at men for every fucking thing, but we're not allowed to come at you for any of your own faults. Shit that actually is your fault, you don't want to be blamed for.
To this or slow it down, right?
Slow it down.
And this is no surprise to me because again, at the end of the day, guys, again, who would you rather for you guys to date and do relationships? Some masculine woman that's trying to compete with you and everything, and
this is what literally been the last few videos I have made today talking about this. We don't want to be with a masculine. We don't want to be with a dude. We don't want to be with a bro in a bra. We want to be with a woman. That's what we want. Y'all get to choose. We get to choose. You don't get to force us on what we get to choose, or else we just won't choose. We'll just go on dates.
And who's bossy and ball busting and acts like she's got a bigger you-know-what than you, or a girly, feminine, soft, nurturing, traditional girl. Duh, it's kind of obvious. So I'm going to go through this article. It's pretty interesting because I learned something new every day, guys, on many levels. But this is definitely something new because I didn't know about what was going on in Sweden. And by the way, to no surprise, the government's going to try to, in this article, you're going to see, to focus on a small percentage of obviously wrongdoings that go on sometimes with immigrants to make it like it's the bigger picture, which certainly isn't the case. Okay. So, but anyhow, I'm going to go through this. So it starts off. Sweden now, the country with the highest percentage of Thai wives. Sweden has emerged as the country with the highest percentage of local men with Thai wives or life partners, as well as a growing number of qualitative studies into the nature of the growing number of relationships between Swedish men and Thai women. Although Sweden portrays itself to be one of the most liberal countries in Europe, the Swedish government is concerned with this as immigration becomes a powerful and divisive political issue. They want to do this big study about what's going on here. It's not rocket science. Masculine women walking around with battle axes and Viking helmets, or sexy, feminine, girly, traditional women.
They really want to do a study about this? Just watch my channel. Their answers are right there. Just watch MTR. Just watch Strong Sensational Male. You don't need to do studies. There are plenty of channels out there that explain this. Jeez.
Duh. Who you gotta pick, right? In fact, the Swedish government has had several issues to deal with. In spite of it representing its country as liberal and progressive, Swedes has been putting their government under pressure to investigate such issues as same-sex marriages, the ordination of female bishops, and growth of the you-know-what industry in Sweden, including the large numbers of Thai parlors in Stockholm. Those lobbying the Swedish government highlight the number of Thai women who appear to be discarded by their Swedish partners or seek help from Sweden's welfare agencies. Women's groups claim many Thai women have been subjugated to harm by Swedish men. And that sucks. That's terrible. Okay? But I have to really wonder here, is that a huge percentage to cause alarm? Or is it an excuse to try to slow things down? And because the bigger picture here is they want Swedes breeding with Swedes, because you have all these women that aren't getting married because these guys are like, I'm taking the feminine girl, not Battle Axe Brenda over there. No. Says, however, like Finland and Norway, while there are documented cases of harm, most relationships between Thai women and Swedish men are successful. There you go. Although there is no accurate data on relationship breakdown between Thai women who marry Swedish men, it is likely to be lower than the overall divorce rate in Sweden, which is now nearly 55%. One UK man living in Sweden estimates that over 85% of marriages between Thai women and Swedish men are successful. Imagine that. 55%, more than half, of marriages between Swedish men and Swedish women are ending in divorce. It's higher over here in the United States, but it's still a crazy number. Over 50% are going to end in divorce, and yet people do this. Yet with the Thai women, feminine, traditional, girly Thai women, 85% work. So it's like 15% of divorce. What does it tell you? Look at the impact, again, the feminist movement has had. Jim Henderson is a Londoner living in Stockholm who met his Thai...
Either that or men will, as I said, and as I've been saying, men will just date. Not get in relationships, but just go out on dates and avoid relationships and marriages altogether. That's what's happening.
My wife, Papora, I guess that's how you pronounce it, on a website in 2010, and now lives happily in Sweden.
And again, see, ladies, you need to understand something. The sample size for men, for one, women outnumber men. That's even amongst your local groups. So now men are, as I said, the sample size is not just local, statewide, not just local, but citywide, statewide. It's the next state over, a couple of states over, across the country, across the world. Men do not have to y'all make it seem like, well, ladies, we just won't be with them. For one, not all women believe the way that you feminists believe. That's one. And because you're in the minority, for one, just with that. And then, again, you have women worldwide. So your whole thing, Madonna and all y'all that started this bullshit of, well, what we're gonna do is gonna force the men to do what we want. Yeah, no. That didn't work in your favor, and it's not working now.
My wife loves Sweden in spite of the cold. We are very happy, but I have heard stories of some guys on their third wife from Thailand. I've had to take my wife to the hospital, and the administrators insisted on having a Thai translator for her when she first arrived, even though she speaks very good English. I think the authorities are right to be protective here, but I am concerned that some people have an agenda. Ding, ding, ding. And I got no problem with taking action to prevent, obviously harm. The other word starts with an A, and I can't say that because YouTube is very sensitive about certain words, but you know what I mean, guys. Taking advantage of and harm and things like that. I'm fine with certain measures. But we know what's going on here. They're just pissed off because the men don't want to marry the effeminist Swedish women, because again, they say it's a very liberal, progressive country. So that translates to me that guess what? That's code for we're going to have masculine, effeminist women here, and guys don't want to be with those types.
Nope.
I guarantee you, these types stop being so darn masculine, and the effeminist movement minimizes there. Guys will go back to marrying girls from their native land. Until then, tough shit.
Yep.
Behind their concern for Thai women, I think they really want to cut down on it. Exactly. Although there are undoubtedly concerns for some Thai women who are married to Swedes or in long-term relationships, a new survey by Swedish Academic Institute into Thai women living in rural Sweden shows that Thai women do not fit the obvious stereotypes often portrayed. The survey finds a colorful picture of strong women working hard to make a new life in a very different country and culture. And I think when they mean strong women, they don't actually mean what we think over here in terms of strong woman, I am woman, hear me roar types. They're just very brave, taking chances, women that are making something of themselves in a different country. And those are the type of immigrants you want to come to your country that are going to work hard and make something of themselves, not, milk the country dry for all its resources, based off their liberal policies.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's keep going.
No. They're coming here to work and add something. That's the kind of people you want to come.
We hope.
This is similar to studies carried out in diverse countries such as Finland, Germany, and Australia, where government agencies have accepted that most relationships between Thai women and foreign men are in fact bona fide. Ding, ding, ding. See? Says Jim, he says, Sweden is a great country, but it's the same as all wealthy countries. There's been such a change in the dating culture and family life. I'm a professional. I've had a wonderful dating experience with Swedish women, but I never married until I met my wife in Thailand. I wonder why. It never occurred to me that there could be something wrong with what I was doing until I had some comments from friends and started reading stuff on the net. Most times it sort of amuses me, but there have been times when I've gotten annoyed with the rubbish being thrown out there. Exactly. At the end of the day, you got pissed off women that they're taking our men, and they're ruffling feathers and using their connections with government to now stir up shit, and here you go.
And look, I mean, seriously, if that's happening in Sweden and Denmark, it's going to happen here. It's going to happen here. And I guarantee you, watch, it's going to be like an Alyssa Milano or Madonna or someone else along those lines that's going to turn around and go, oh my God, so look, it didn't work of us controlling them and everything. They just went to countries where the women were submissive and married them. Oh my God, they're going to do everything they can to try and sabotage either those women, or they're going to try and sabotage it on us men. But again, I mean, and here's the thing. Y'all are the ones with the whole open borders thing. What's the answer? Oh, we're going to limit the women coming over? Or we're going to limit from those certain countries coming over? I'm telling you, look at, this is ridiculous. But again, the women just do not want to take responsibility. Not for themselves and not even for the women who have caused this issue.
He says, Thai immigration and berry picking. Well, this part goes into the whole berry industry in Thailand, in Sweden, which I didn't know there was a berry industry in Sweden. I guess in my mind I picture being cold all the time, but obviously that's not accurate. I'm going to skip this part because it really doesn't have anything to do with the whole marriage thing, so just bear with me for a second, guys. Goes into the whole berry industry thing and bullshit, but now back to the main part of the article. Now this part's going to focus on what they're trying to do to make the case to obviously minimize Thai women coming in terms of bad things happening. So I'm going to be speaking a lot of code here, so just, if you want to read along and see what's really being said, click on the link in the description and carry on. This follows the part about taking advantage of Thai women in Sweden. It says there is certainly evidence in Sweden that harm occurring to Thai women traveling to the country. In spite of it,
see what I said? Did I not say that? That they were either going to go after the women to sit there and go, look, we're just trying to protect you. They stopped marrying us because we were real women. They're marrying you submissive women. We're trying to help y'all. We're trying to protect. See what I mean? Look at this. Oh my God, women are sick. What these women are doing.
Its liberal and progressive image, Sweden has a vibrant you-know-what industry with a reputed 190 parlors in Stockholm alone. There are stories, mind you, of young Thai women being transferred, so to speak, by their families to Swedish men and then forced into the you-know-what line of work when they arrive in Sweden. In fact,
see, they're trying any scare tactic just to try and prevent anything like that. They're just, hey, Swedish men, Latino women are also pretty damn good too. So keep messing up the whole feminist bullshit. Let's keep screwing up their bullshit.
In fact, the parallel business of trafficking to satisfy the explosion of the escort industry is often confused with the growth in interracial dating worldwide, now made possible by the internet. It has to be said, however, that there is an anecdotal evidence of some Thai women who have been discarded by Swedish husbands, or where relationships have broken down, turning to the you-know-what industry. The Swedish government has been very active in preventing this and is making efforts to inform Thai women in such situations of their rights and support that is available from government agencies. And I'm fine with that. Okay? I don't want anybody to be taken advantage of and harm coming their way.
Right.
Seriously. But a lot of this, in my opinion, is just an excuse to, obviously, because you get the pissed off Swedish women. Taking our men. Since the Swedish government has been very active in preventing this and making efforts to inform Thai women in such situations of their rights and support that is available from the government agencies. The Thai embassy in Sweden has recently announced a hotline for Thai women stranded in Sweden. This is part of the overall policy initiative taken by the Thai government throughout the world in response to the huge increase in Thai women marrying foreign partners. Jim Henderson, the British guy living in Stockholm, I think most responsible men who have Thai wives or relationship partners are deeply concerned at this sort of activity. I don't think it's the real story, ding, 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 and I think most government agencies already know this. See? The problem is, as I said, some groups want to tar it with all the same brush. That's not funny when it touches you personally, but we just get on with it. I'd be giving, if I was this guy and he's got the good marriage with his Thai wife, I'd be giving a giant FU to anybody that has anything to say about it. It says here, going under the integration of Thais into Swedish communities, enlightened immigration policies in Sweden have led to a virtual invasion by Thai workers of many kinds, not just crop pickers. Thais have also moved to Sweden to open restaurants and Thai restaurants, as in countries all over the world, from the vanguard of the Thai community. Many Thais have settled permanently in Sweden over the past 20 years. In fact, it is estimated that there are now around 30,000 Thai-born people living in Sweden, including wives of Swedish men, restaurant owners, and those that run small businesses of various kinds. Thais are astute business people, and many Thai wives are able to run businesses themselves. Yeah, and that's the good part. That's awesome. Near me, I got a Thai restaurant not too far away, and the food is amazing. And the couple that run that, they've been there for a long time. They have got to be easily, I'm talking easily, early to mid-70s. And I swear to God, it's like they work every day. No joke. And they bust their butts. And they're so friendly, so polite. The food is amazing. I get the food there usually about once a month. It's awesome. And I might add, their niece, who's obviously Thai, works there, and she's smoking hot. And she is girly and feminine and traditional. See what I mean? So you think about this. You can have guys that you have the American women here in the United States, because you got this Thai family. American women that are more and more being impacted by the feminist movement and being, I am woman, hear me roar. Or getting a Thai girl who's girly and beautiful and feminine and sexy and traditional.
Same thing that was said in the previous video of getting a woman who is feminine. Getting a woman who is feminine, looks feminine, personality feminine, as opposed to somebody who's trying to be, like in the previous video, too busy trying to be a dude. That's not what we want. We don't want a guy. We're not trying to date a guy. We're trying to date a woman. Again, like I keep saying, and I love how to say it, hashtag no bros in bras. So, yeah.
Traditional. What do you think we're going to pick? Duh. And you have all the American women being pissed off about that too.
Yep, American women too.
It says here they've integrated well into local communities in Utenade, I can't pronounce this right, in the north of Sweden, just east of Östersund. One of the major tourist attractions is a genuine Thai pavilion, the spire of which rises well above the pines and birch trees. It is the only pavilion of its design outside Thailand. Noi, a young Thai woman living in Utenade, I gotta look this up because I gotta be mispronounced. Anybody from Sweden can let me know what the hell I'm supposed to say here. Says this is great. It's good for the Swedes to experience our culture, and we feel almost at home here. Apart from being a tourist attraction, the pavilion has generated interest in the development of trade between Thailand and Sweden.
Only problem I have with that is does it transfer the opposite way? Like how, we're bringing African culture here. Okay, well then that means, are we building other cultures, things in Africa? I mean, if there's a large Chinese population in Africa, are they building a mock Great Wall of China? I mean, I find it funny how it's only, I've only noticed it when it's minorities moving to European places that the culture moves over. But it's never if it's a European culture moving into a minority culture that the same thing translates over. Interesting. I mean, it's like if you wanted to feel at home, why didn't you stay home? See what I mean?
Good. Promote business. There are more Thais in Sweden than just the seasonal workers. And Thais are not the only seasonal workers here. There are many other nationalities represented in those that work in the northern forests of Sweden, although it is the Thai women that the Swedes appear to prefer to marry. In fact, in some areas they are no longer perceived as being exotic, but are regarded as members of the local communities. It finishes up saying, Thai women in Sweden are enjoying an increasing degree of acceptance by their Swedish neighbors, many of whom learn a great deal from their Thai friends. Each culture can learn from the other, and while the Swedish government may be concerned at the level of Thai immigration, those that live with them and marry them...
Whoa. You're concerned about the immigration you allowed. The government is concerned about the immigration they allowed. Okay. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that shit happen here in the United States when the Democrats all of a sudden start getting pissy over all the Afghani and everybody else moving here. And it's like, but you brought them here. Yeah. I can't wait for... I've been saying, why haven't the Native Americans spoken up when they should have already been speaking up? I can't wait for the Native Americans to finally actually speak up and go, wow, now there's more of them than there are of us here. Wow, there's a huge Afghani presence in Oklahoma. There's more of an Afghani presence in this area than there are of Cherokee or Apache. Well, maybe you should have freaking spoke up a long time ago, considering this is your country. Okay, whatever, getting off topic. No, it's not off topic. It is on topic. If your countries are so bad, south of the border, Middle East, Africa, if your countries are so terrible, why do you keep popping out kids in these terrible countries? I'm not understanding this at all. If I know a place is a very terrible place, I'm not exactly about to pop kids into it. Okay.
Welcome the diversity that these colorful and hardworking people offer to their communities. Yeah, and it sounds like a good thing. And like I said before, I'm cool with anybody coming into let's just say here, the United States. I'm cool with anybody coming here and they're going to work. They're legally coming here and they're going to work hard.
Legally.
And, add to our society, maybe bring things from their culture, restaurants, whatever, and make something themselves. Okay? I'm cool with that. And you understand that this is our country and our culture, and you're going to respect our laws and cultures and not get bent out of shape about it and contribute. Versus those that come here with the idea, number one, they come here with the idea that they're going to milk this place for everything it's worth.
Or take it over by bringing their culture here and taking it over. That I have a serious problem with too. Because then you should have stayed in your country. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video here because there's not really nothing else that needs to be said. I just thought it was funny about how the government... It isn't just Filipinas. No, it's also Thailand. It's also, seriously. This feminist bullshit, this is where all this is coming from. These feminists started this crap. and then they're bitching about them losing. You started this to where we men got away from you, but you didn't want us to go away. As a matter of fact, you didn't believe that we would go away. You didn't believe that we would. So we walked away from you, which you weren't expecting, and now you're like, oh shit, what the hell's going on? This isn't what we wanted. We wanted them to beg, to grovel to us, to stay in their lives. Men aren't going to do that. When have you ever fucking known men to do that? That's the reason why we've had a civil war. It's the reason why we conquered the oceans. It's the reason why we've had a revolutionary war. We didn't just fucking grovel. But whatever. These stupid feminists, you know, losing, and then want to actually petition their governments to fix the shit they started. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Getting a little, because damn pain meds and everything, so I like to have a clear mind, a passionate, angry mind, but a clear mind when I do these videos.